cold open here.
Yeah.
Whoa, 100. Yeah. What the fuck?
I know. Pretty wild. When I was making the grid that's going to soon become internet famous.
Yes.
I'm so like this is not a thing that was tired. It was actually extremely rewarding to do, but I did it like 3 times. Like I did it on one grid, and then it was like pay me money, and I was like, no, And so
all those damn services that seem to be free and aren't free.
Oh yeah, which like I guess I kind of get it, just because like if I had to do this analog, it would be like nuts. So like it became, once I had all the pictures uploaded, a matter of just minutes. But the second time I did it, I forgot one, and I had no idea which one I forgot.
Oh wow.
It's the one with MJF wearing the Islanders jersey, flipping off the camera.
Okay.
Which that should be episode 50 or 60 something. Because if you go down the side columns, it's, mostly 10, 30, 40, then fit, on the left column, all the ones that are even numbers.
Yeah.
Except for, once we throw, the thing that, originally 11 was on the second left column. But Brett Jagger and Beaumont Rand's Brainbuster Boys cut throws it all off.
Oh, yeah. Did that make it or not?
It did. Yeah. It made it. So it's the first 99. And I figured somehow we can make this 100. I could maybe have a text that says, that has like numbers with no fill, just outline that says 100 over it. I think that'd be pretty tight with a little glow.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm kind of half paying attention.
Oh, no, it's all good.
This tweet out.
Yeah. In other BBB image related news. So the last image, the Cairns image, was the first one I made on Photoshop officially.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So this one, I kind of know the text effects we could use to make it really, really nice and have the numbers be not obtrusive. But no, it was really, really fun looking through these. Just,
Oh, absolutely.
Like totally a trip down memory lane.
And we'll be revisiting at least the first 50 of them in a little bit of detail here in a little bit, eh?
Yes, sir. But
I'm almost ready here.
Yeah, and the third time was like literally right before this, because I had everything uploaded. I just needed to drag it over.
Hell yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it for one.
I'm excited for you to see it. It's all HD, and like it would be so cool if in the upcoming podcast room at Eddie's, soon to be Eddie in your place, if we could get this printed out, but I bet it would cost an arm and a leg.
I bet it's not as much as you think. I remember we had a poster made for one of our like apartments or offices that was for rent, and it was only like $80, and it was like fucking 20 feet long.
Yeah, I mean that could be
and it was like super detailed. So
yeah, because I mean that's what this is pretty much, and like the pictures are all HD, so I'd want it to be big enough to where the Greg Goldman hour isn't blurry. You know, I can I can read that, but.
All right, I'm almost ready. I'm just firing this over text to some people here. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Yes, sir.
Motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got 2 more sleeps in the old cork port here.
Oh, man. Two more sleeps.
2 more sleeps, buddy.
No, damn, man. What will Lee do?
Commit heinous acts of Leadonism.
Oh, what if he has his normal bedroom and he turns yours into a sex specific bedroom?
Yes, fuck room.
Fuck room, yeah. That'd be so tight.
All right, I'm ready. Fuck it. I've got this out to a bunch of people.
All right, here, I'll record the time so I can have some detailed accounts. Yeah, it's about 4 minutes. It's cold open. Hooray.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You good?
Right. Yes.
All right. Welcome to the Brain Buster Boys, episode 100, part 1.
No.
Oh, holy shit.
Holy shit.
My name is Brett Jagger, along with the legend, Beaumont motherfucking Rand, baby.
Oh, man, it took me 100 episodes to go from the legend, from just normal life to the legend. Well, it'll take me 200, then I'll become like a myth. You know?
I mean, that 100, you'll be a man.
Now be a man, yeah. You know? Well, I think
I guess you've been a man for the first 99.
Yeah. Well, I think to be a myth, you have to be dead.
Well,
so I don't know
that happen.
I mean, all the Greek gods are either dead or they never existed. Probably mostly the latter. Yeah. So,
well, we made it here, bud.
We did. We made
and
it.
I figure now that we're live, we'll show our good friend Nick from the Universal Wrestling Podcast, who somehow stopped in before we were live to say congrats. And I wanted to shout him out for making this badass frame.
Yeah, this looks wonderful.
This looks wonderful. Thank you, Nick. You are the king.
Mm-hmm.
This is sweet. We're still kind of, as you know, new at this whole YouTube thing, but this is going to be, I guess, a YouTube exclusive for at least a week plus probably here. So
correct.
We're going to do tonight, which if you see the description, it'll be largely AEW Revolution review. We're going to kind of take a walk down memory lane of our first 50 episodes, and then we are going to review the wonderful pig slop that was the San Francisco 49ers match from October 2nd, 2000, WCW Nitro, Booker T and Jeff Jarrett.
One of the many nails in their coffin that made it up.
Oh, man, which so happened, I did not realize, is in the same building, the Cow Palace, that AEW Revolution was in. So how about that?
Crazy.
I mean, because we really only, Azar brought it up when we were live, a few weeks ago, and you're like, what the fuck? San Francisco 49ers match? And I'm like, let's watch it.
Yeah, let's
not
check
really
it out.
Thinking of the connection, and they're like, yeah, here we are in the Cow Palace, but yeah, that kind of stuff has always seemed to work out for us. Like doing the cans last week on 99.
Yeah.
What else?
Been a little trip down the Switch.
Royal Rumble 92 was episode 50.
Correct.
They call that Kismet, I believe.
Yeah, the end of our first two storylines, that was episode 20. And that was kind of a big, emphatic one.
Yeah, we'll be running through them all here a little bit later. But yeah, this is pretty weird. 100.
Yeah, very.
I mean, I guess it's just like any other episode, but it's a pretty big milestone, I guess. Fuck.
Oh, it is. I mean, you see like tons of podcasts that have been around episode 230, like Shining Wizards, like those guys are like on 400 something.
Yeah, they're 11 years in.
Yeah, and I just remember like us starting out, just like episode 14, 15, that slow crawl. And it's almost just kind of happened in a blur, because as I look at these episodes, I just remember like, when I was putting this big grid together, just the slow crawl from this to the end of the WWE story. And then from that to Goldman. And then after that, it seems like it just, zoomed by.
Yeah.
Just like anything
none of that
seems you're accustomed to.
Yeah. None of that seems that long ago, really.
No. And it was like 2020, which is like, going on 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just a microcosm of what time has felt like since COVID. Like it's just kind of been a fucking blur. And I mean, us, like many other wrestling podcasts that we've interacted with, kind of got their starts during COVID. So who else? I was on Nick's show, the UW pod last week, and BC Hunter from Wrestling with the War or Wrestle with the War, I think he said they just had their 98. So they were like one behind us as well.
Right.
My man, TK. Timmy. How are you, brother? Come here. Good to see you. Always a fucking pleasure. Yep. Running the new Bloodline Entertainment Network website. Is
that Tim? That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's he's running the site, and it's like a conglomeration of it's him, it's Nick from UW Pod, it's Clark Street, it's Circle of Debate, it's Top Rope Talk, and I'm missing one. There's 6 of them kind of coming together and doing this, but Tim is specifically running the website, which I just put my top 10 matches of the week from this past week. So check it out. And soon enough, I'll finally finish my top 200 from last year, even though we're 2+ months in. But hey, it's been a grind. But
yes,
thanks, Tim. I love you. But yeah. Anything else we want to kind of talk about before we dig into Revolution here? I mean, I know we're going to be getting nostalgic a little bit later on, but anything here before we dig in that's pressing or on your mind?
Not in particular, outside of 100th episode shenanigans. And, I think of like sports news and, daily life news, and it pales in it pales in comparison of what we're doing right now, genuinely. So.
Well, Louisville's season is over.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had thought about bringing that up. I watched the second
at 4-28.
Yeah, and the coach is already being like, "I thought we did a good job this year." Yeah, just
What?
but yeah, just the most, just it is the Helen Keller of tone deaf, which that joke was. Can't believe it.
I need to see if UNLV won though, because I have.
Would you bet on them? They had a good
Oh
year this
wow,
year.
they're down one with 30 seconds to go.
Who
They're
are they
just in.
playing?
They're in that parlay. Air Force.
Air,
Yeah, Air Force.
it
You
is
the
huge.
man, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah.
Can't wait to hop back on with you very, very soon, my friend. But yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a big old weekend this weekend celebrating
Oh,
you
yeah.
going away.
Yeah, how could we forget?
Yeah, how could we forget? No, what a weekend. I mean, I guess like to preface all that, I think that'd be a good segue into Revolution, obviously. But
Yeah, for sure.
Dan Popeye Burger through not only through a party, but hosted the large majority of a weekend. So shout out to Dan.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, we had a pretty epic party at his place on Friday, and there were a lot of people there. A celebration of you, as I reiterated multiple times throughout the night. And yeah, it was like whenever everyone's gotten together the last few times, like it's been top-notch epic, like every
special
time.
night, no doubt about it. And this one, especially for me as well. I mean, kind of different friends from all different groups and parts of my life coming together, and yeah, very thankful and blessed to have such amazing friends and people in my life. And yeah, we sure burned it down, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. I guess I got a funny story from that. The piano story. So there's a piano at Dan's house. Dan's house is both like shotgun horizontally and vertically. It's like and in the beginning room, which is kind of far away, there's a old piano. And so like kind of, when I get to a certain point in the night, I'll like wander in there and mess around, like how can I not?
Yeah.
Because I love to play. And then what's his name? Brady was in there. Brady was in there. Yeah, Brady was just, I think, waiting on an Uber, and he was just kind of, just kind of.
He was bumbling around, and he's not a small guy either.
No, he's not. And I start playing. He's like, "You play?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and like I'm playing. And he looks really interested. And then like slowly his head starts veering toward me. I'm like, "What's going on, Brady?" And then his head just goes, "Ping!" Just on the top keys, just lays down on them. Killed me. Absolutely.
I'm
so fun.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't get to see that.
Well, nobody did, because like that's the thing about that house is that is so far away.
I know.
Nobody like I had to tell everybody, and they had to believe me.
I believe it. I mean, how could you not?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the thing about the house. That front room, that foyer, I guess would be the proper name.
And it's like so far removed. Like it's like you said, it's just kind of like room, but there's a lot of space.
There is, yeah. It seems like
there was just you and hot dog and a piano. Eh?
Yeah, I know, man. What a tremendous trio.
Apron bump, my man Kyle. Thank you,
Kyle,
so much. I was just listening back. I was on his show. I guess we recorded it.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat
a few weeks ago, but it just came out today, and we reviewed Ring of Honor Beating the Odds 2003. A very lot of fun on that show we had, and had a fun listening back. And thank you as always. I guess I'm going to be joining you for Slamboree 96, which I don't remember drunkenly agreeing to on, or not that I wouldn't have agreed to. I just don't remember it because it was on Tim King After Dark a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
we were all hooting and hollering, but I'm like getting this link out in one more spot. But
no TCAD, no, take your time on that. Oh boy.
Any other stories from the party or the weekend that pop out as I'm finishing this promotion here?
Let's see. I mean, we were there forever for the weekend. Oh man.
We took in some soccer early Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we took in some soccer at 7 a.m. at the bar. We
were little Man City versus Newcastle. Yeah, 7:30 kick. We were there.
Yeah, and then Evan was there for the game after that, right?
I stayed for a little bit, and then I ran out of gas.
Yeah, no, I mean, Rich and I did pretty quickly, but
Oh man, yeah, hell of a weekend. And yeah, I'll be moving in 2 days, which is pretty crazy because I've been in this house for 4.5 years and I've been in this area again for 10 plus at this point. So yeah, first time I'll be living in Louisville since 2009. And it is
2009. Wow.
most certainly, I guess early 10, because I've ended up finishing a semester early and then got an internship with the Iowa Cubs that was like March of 2010. So
wow.
Yeah, I think I left about March of 2010. So yeah, fuck. All right. Revolution
Around the sun
will be televised. Hit it. Little Ricky Stalks. And speaking of which, well, I guess here, let me do my normal shtick here.
Yeah, get your thing pulled up.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Get here. So this
we had a pretty low key. We played 2 games of Catan, and then we were like, we're gonna order food. And then who got all that pizza? Was that Dan or was that Chris?
So Katie had ordered that from the party Friday, and there was just a lot left over, and yeah, we hammered it.
It's a very Katie thing to do. I remember on Derby, she got those pizzas too. Where were they? They were from Diorio's.
Oh, she's the best. Yeah, she was making sure we're all taken care of, no doubt about it. As she will likely do many more times when I'm down in Louisville. So, yeah, okay. Revolution 2023, the 4th edition of such. March 5th, 2023, San Francisco, California. Actually, this was the Chase Center. The Cow Palace is where they had Dynamite last week. So, yeah, this was at the Chase Center, which is where the Warriors.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I remember seeing, I think that, Chase Center logo. And so the Cow Palace were the TV shows.
Yeah, Cow Palace is where Dynamite was, and the San Francisco 49ers match that we will be talking about later on. But yes, we start with Ricky Stalks defeating Chris Jericho in 13 minutes, 49 seconds. Wouldn't have called this one to be the opener, but I think it worked out pretty well. And
I think
crowd
was definitely
crowd was definitely way behind Ricky. And we had the whole Jazz is banned from ringside scenario, which you knew someone was going to try and come out, and it was Sammy, and he was abruptly attacked by one Action Andretti. Also, we found like a prop sheet on Reddit for this, so that definitely kind of spiced things up as well. Like for this one, for example, it was like, will there be interference, and will the finish be clean or dirty? And it was kind of interesting because Sammy tried to interfere, but Action Andretti prevented him from interfering. So I said that's not interference, and Jericho used the bat on Ricky at one point, but it didn't lead to the finish, and he pinned him clean with the Rochambeau. So yeah, some tough calls to make here in the early going on the prop sheet.
Yeah, no, it was. And like you could tell between the people who are there who watches AEW regularly and who doesn't, because like the people who didn't were like Jericho. Who's this Ricky Starks guy?
Yeah, I went perfect on the first 2 matches, and it was pretty much just you and I going neck and neck.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, I picked all the winners, and for the longest time up until
I think it was Joe and Wardlow was the first one where we went different on.
Yeah, that was my downfall there. Because like
I ended up getting all the winners right, which is never happens. Whenever we make predictions, I never get them all right. So I was proud of that.
Yeah. I just got the Wardlow Joe and the tag team wrong, but yeah, I was all 7s up until Wardlow Joe. Then I goose egged that one.
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely kept things interesting, and especially watching with a few of our buddies who only kind of take in AEW casually. So But yeah, this was a very fun opener. Like we said, Ricky is getting hot. He's getting pushed. I would have been very surprised if he lost this match. The build was kind of whack, as we talked about, a week or 2 ago, with him, goading him into the match, even though it was just kind of lame and poorly done. But
yeah. I mean, and this is said a long time coming too. Like again, like all this stuff's been simmering for a while, and this was a good exclamation point on it. Like, do you think this is the end of that?
I hope so. I mean, what else is there to do? He's beaten him twice. He's kind of disposed of the Jazz. So yeah, let's move Ricky up or wherever too, and that's kind of the exciting thing now. Is hopefully, we'll get some fresh feuds coming here. hopefully some good stories, which has been, not an area of consistency for AEW of late. But, I think Ricky is in a great position here. I did watch some of the press conference after, which MJF was fucking gold. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no,
With the pickle. Have you seen any of that? Yeah,
I didn't see the thing with the pickle, but I just kind of saw the general gist of everything. I guess
well, he was like he grabbed a pickle and he's like, "Wow, this is a good fucking pickle."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Anyone want a pickle out here?" He's like, "Come on up here, dipshit."
Yeah.
And the guy took a bite. He's like, "That's a good pickle." He's like, "Yeah, no, fuck off."
Still in character, like, oh man, he's the man. Like, I mean, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Speaking of the man, sexy, smacking it raw.
Yeah.
Matt Ritter, pull it out, not up.
Coming in.
Jazz thing is kind of whack. Yeah, it kind of is at this point, but
yeah, it is. Like I said, it definitely inferior to the Inner Circle, but the Inner Circle is pretty, like, in terms of stable work in AEW, iconic.
Yeah. Dylan from the World Elite. What up, player? Thanks for watching. Thanks for making me graphics back in the day for Floor Slapper Sports, and thanks for all your support all the time. You're the man.
Graphics man.
Graphics man. But yeah, anything else from this match? I mean, I think we kind of covered the attempted interference, the bat. Crowd was hot all night. But yeah, I thought this was just a fun opening contest.
It was. It went how it should have gone, and I mean that in a good way.
Absolutely. You know what? I didn't think it's not that hard to do these banner things. If we were planning ahead, because what's the second match here? Let's see. We got Christian versus Jungle Boy.
Was that
I just
the
want to
second
see
match?
if this. Yeah.
Wow.
Final burial. Let's see. Hey, how about that? See, now sometime if I plan ahead, we can. But then that covers our beautiful thing there. So
what do you do? Do you hit present? How do you do that?
So it's on the right. There's banners, and then you literally just type it in, and then you just click show.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can have fun with on here. But hey, I like our thing that Nick made here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It's very, uses our colors. Orange. Yes. We're
yes,
we're in bed with it.
Bengals colors too, baby.
It is.
And I'm wearing it's my Orange Cassidy hat. Black and orange.
It is. I would say this is also kind of close to Tennessee Volunteers. I think we're kind of dipping into that, our toes into that pool.
Rick Barnes,
yeah.
Your boy. Okay, second match, the final burial. Jungle Boy Jack Perry buries Christian Cage in 14 minutes, 49 seconds. We had a lot of fun with this one in the room. I think we were all really enjoying Christian's heel work, just textbook.
That turtleneck. That turtleneck cut off. Yeah, that was
sleeveless turtleneck. Yeah,
that was great.
Of all, that screams heel.
Yeah.
And then just his aunt. I was kind of telling the guys, who hadn't been watching, because they all know who Christian is, of course.
Right.
I'm he, before he got hurt, he was cutting some killer heel promos, just super old school. Cutting in on Jungle Boy's dad, which when I told them Luke Perry was his dad, oh yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just dialed in to just, multiple times being no, please, no. Just textbook great heel work here. And that definitely kept me very engaged in this. I think one question on the prop sheet was would Luchasaurus interfere?
Yeah.
Which I'm glad he did not. I think this, needed to be a definitive win for Jungle Boy here, Jack Perry, I guess, as he's kind of morphing into. But it was a little confusing initially. Is this a buried alive match? Is this a casket match? Because there was dirt and a casket. But it turned out to pretty much just be a casket match. And Rich, who was in the room with us, who told us that night, and we all agreed.
He did look hot as hell.
Jungle Boy looked hot as hell. So did his sister and his mother. Shit,
good
looking family.
They all look alike. But I mean, for him, he's pretty. I bet he has wears the same size pants that I do. Just about. I bet he's a 32.
What about
his
attire of just the jeans and the Jungle Boy tasseled boots?
I loved it. I loved it. It's very kind of, I don't know, casual wear. This is my little style and stuff like that. I liked it.
Ah, shit. My hat is all fucking up on me here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just thought it was a geek because we mentioned like street fights or no DQ matches. People will sometimes wear jeans or a t-shirt or different gear, and we had Christian's fucking cut off turtleneck, and it's like, all right, Jungle Boy's wearing the jeans, but he still has the Jungle Boy boots.
Yeah,
on.
man, they could have called this the Forever 21 match.
Oh,
what if? Yeah.
Well, I just think it's funny because
that tiny ass men's section they used to have, like I bet that's where that's really what it looked like it came from.
Well, he's clearly trying to like, distance himself from the Jungle Boy thing, or like wants to become more Jack Perry.
Well,
and it's like that ain't doing it, bud.
Yeah,
keeping those boots on.
Yeah, getting rid of those boots. Like the jeans are good, but the jeans also remind me of Orange because Orange always wrestles in those like.
Although he didn't on this night, was the first time he wore just like the black sweatpants almost. They were with the string.
Yeah, with the drawstrings. Those actually look really comfortable. I'm gonna have to get me a pair.
Yeah, because his jeans usually have the drawstrings, so they're not like actual jeans always. But yeah, it was interesting. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I thought this was good action. I mean, they had the steps were involved at one point. Jungle Boy flew around a lot, including like jumping off the stage onto him at one point. Oh, the one question was, would Jungle Boy's family be at ringside? And for anyone who's watched AEW, knew the answer would be yes, because they've been shown often.
Right, and they've been involved in the Christian heel work and all the chicanery and
kind of in the middle of it, because he's ripped on his dead father, and I think he's even made mention of his mother and sister. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think this was fitting for closing the feud. Again, I think Christian's heel work kind of locked me in, and as I've said, always when you're watching with the group that we watch with or with a group of friends, like the energy level is typically pretty high. And even though we weren't really, I had a few beers that night, but we definitely weren't like partying. But we certainly had a lot of fun in general. And I think, this match was awesome and really led us into the heat that's coming next.
Yeah, that hot heat.
Which that hot heat was the House of Black. Woo! Defeating the Elite in 17 minutes, 58 seconds to win the AEW World Trios Championship. And boy, oh boy, am I happy. And I think this was definitely by far the best showcase of the House of Black.
Oh, easily.
Especially Malachi Black that we've seen in AEW. And yes, you're absolutely right.
It was definitely about time.
Talked about it ad nauseum, pretty much that and where the fuck is Miro, which we still don't know. But yeah, this was amazing. Oh, broadcast. Tom, what up, baby?
What up? Thanks down under. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for popping in, my friend. We always appreciate your support.
Yeah.
But yeah, just we talked ahead of time, like Malachi and Kenny squaring off, like that's going to be awesome. Even it pretty much started, I think, with Kenny and Buddy Matthews, which, as I told you, like he's kind of like
Kenny Light,
Kenny Light, except not in physique because he's fucking jacked.
And he seems like bigger, like Kenny, like at least despite like being like kind of like Buddy Matthews is built more like a linebacker. Kenny is still like kind of.
But that's a little more in recent years. Like he definitely used to be more Kenny's size. And when he like got up to the main roster WWE, and he and Malachi did some great shit. That was like stuff I actually watched, during COVID when I wasn't watching that shit.
Right.
But like he was starting to move like Kenny and like, drawing the comparisons a lot to Kenny. So that was cool as well. This match was just fucking blistering. I mean, it was everything you want in a chaotic trios match. So many near falls down the stretch, pin breakups, team moves. The one part we loved was when they were kind of getting ready to square off 3v3 and Kenny just like chucked referee Rick Knox out of the way and then they all started
going. Oh yeah. Like, great.
That was definitely a lot of fun.
Yes.
But yeah, this was just everything you want. And hopefully we get some singles matches that splinter out of this, specifically Kenny with all three of them, but really Kenny and Malachi. Brody. Well, let's also take a moment and just the face paint they all.
Oh
had.
yeah, he looks so.
All looked
especially Brody Keene looks scary.
Yeah, he had the white, and I think Buddy's was more just like a black, like almost like the Hamburglar. Did someone
that
reference
or
that?
the Lone Ranger or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. They took some fucking badass pictures with the belts like after as well too that I saw on Instagram. But man,
so well deserved for these guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so legit, and they've just been not handled well, not booked well at all. And then now finally they get something. And I mean, is this going to be kind of a feud? I mean, are the Elite going to kind of?
I'm kind of hoping not.
Yeah.
I'd love for Kenny needs to go singles. Like this has been great, and I think it was great to kind of get him back. But like we've saw the match with Ospreay, like he's at the top of his game right now, and he's only got so many years. Not much left at this level.
What would a Kenny MJF like title build be like?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they would do it right. I feel like that would put eyes on the TV.
Yeah,
that would get them huge numbers. I feel like they have
Kenny, like, he can cut a promo, but he's kind of like awkward. He's not like your big dick on the mic guy. Yeah. So it would be interesting to see.
And he'd clearly be face in this.
Yeah. I mean, Callis would obviously be with him. So I was going to say Callis tweeted something. It was just a picture of he and Kenny, and it just said like, we're getting our focus back or something like that. So
can it be like MJF versus the EVPs? Like MJF goes up against the company. Like they have to do it. There's so many rich narrative angles for this. That oh man, I really hope they do. That sounds fascinating. The more I talk about it.
And I mean, we'll get once we talk about the main event, we can talk about future challengers, but that's not something I had thought about yet. And yeah, that'd be great. I don't know. I would guess they'll probably stay away from an MJF Kenny match for a while, but that would be fucking intriguing as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, just haven't really talked about too many of the moves in the match here, but let's talk about the part on the prop sheet that really got us going here was the over under of 14.5 super kicks.
And like it hovered at like 2.
Yeah,
for a really long time, and then all of a sudden it got to like
double,
15.
double, triple, and I think it landed at 17 on the final triple super kick, which took it over the number. So
right, yeah, it was like a slot machine.
We were losing it, like all of us, because I think everyone bet the over. Because why the fuck wouldn't?
Yeah. It's always fun to bet the over.
I think there were 6 of us watching, and yeah, for that last like 3 minutes of the match, like I wish I could recreate that. Like if rewatching this match, just like 12, 15, like, oh man, so much fun. And like it just added to it,
It did. Yeah. No, prop sheets from here on out for these,
Yeah, and like I've been the one to make them a lot in the past, and it's it's not takes time and effort, but like Azar just pulled that one off Reddit, and there seems to be one out there. So,
whoever this Redditor who did it, needs to keep doing it because it was not only that, but the over unders were all like hairpin. Like
really for real. Speaking of Redditor, now that I'm moving in with Addy, we should fire up the Rocketeer.
Oh, we should. Soon. I love that movie. Like unabashedly, unironically so.
Textbook definition connotation.
Hit it.
Okay, next is the AEW Women's World Championship Triple Threat, which saw my girl Jamie Hayter with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeat Saraya with Toni Storm and Ruby Soho in 10 minutes, 4 seconds. Match was, very solid, nothing special, nothing to write home about, but good, good work. But clearly the story here was after the match with Ruby Soho finally. The whole kind of story coming into this was which side is she on? Is she with Britt and Jamie, the AEW originals, so to speak, or the outsiders of Saraya and Tony? And her whole thing was, I don't care. I'm not picking sides. Yes, I was technically not here from the beginning, but pretty close. And I don't like these girls, but all I want is the women's championship. So like she made her desires very clear, but it was pretty evident at some point she was going to pick a side. And, as we kind of talked about in the leading up to this, like, clearly there's going to be some big 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 tag
Right.
match.
Yeah, yeah. Some big
Maybe
like
they
settle
do.
the score thing.
Maybe
Yeah.
they do a women's blood and guts.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE's done women's war games that have been awesome. So I could see that happening. And I think blood and guts usually is around like the spring or May or something
Something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah, yeah. Between
So,
pay-per-views. Yeah.
yeah. So now Ruby has made her choice, which I think makes a lot more sense, because she did come from WWE as well, like those two.
Yeah.
And there's still like Sheeta, I think will slot in on the original side. You've got Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
There's others as well. And they'll need one more or two more, on the other side. But obviously Statlander, who's been hurt for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
She's been hurt for ages.
and I just saw a report that she's been traveling on the road and that she's not too far from returning. So that'll be awesome. Although
Exciting.
she was kind of on the Jade side of things, which I think I even read something that's kind of why things with Jade have like stalled a little bit, is because I think Statlander was either supposed to take it from her or like they were definitely setting up a feud. And I mean, Statlander is a fucking beast. So like, in kayfabe, like she's truly the only one to me that could take Jade down.
Exactly.
So, maybe she'll slot in. Oh, speak of the dev, Cage My IQ. What up, Bake Lee? Coming in, Mr. News, saying Statlander was at the meet and greet last week at Revolution. So
there you go.
Yeah, hopefully we will see her sooner rather than later, because I was really enjoying she'd kind of changed her gimmick away from the alien and kind of just being more the badass and
meet more of the human.
And and even in the ring, like she was really showing off her power, because truly, other than Jade, and maybe like Nyla Rose, but she's probably the next biggest woman and just a tremendous athlete. So yeah, definitely looking forward to her coming back, and intrigued to see where all this stuff with the women's, OGs versus outsiders goes, because by and large, it's been pretty good stuff. Definitely better than most of what the women's division had been trotting out prior to this. Oh, Thunder Rosa also could come back.
Because
on
she's
that OGs team.
God knows how long.
Yeah. So, and I think that would be good to like, Hater doesn't need to defend the title as much. Like, let's keep it on. Like, let's milk that as long as we can.
Let's definitely do that, because I think she deserves
a long. At some point, her and Britt, they're gonna come head to head at some point. But I hope that's maybe full gear, something like way down the line this year, because I like what they've got going on right now.
I do too.
And they've kind of naturally, organically become baby faces through all this, and it kind of started with just how awesome Jamie Hayter has been. I think it was All Out last year. I mean, I was all on the train well before, but remember that show was when the crowd just really started getting behind her. Yeah, it was Chicago. So
Is that her hometown? No, she's a Brit, isn't she?
Yeah, but Chicago crowd's always smart, always hot. Like it was like, whoa, this is the first time we've heard this, and since then it's just kind of happened. Bakley also sang Layla Hirsch.
Yeah,
he's been out for a bit. Yeah,
it's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
So she could be involved on that OG's side as well. So I'm not sure right now off the top of my head any other former WWE.
What if Jade Cargill sided with the WWE group?
I mean,
she belongs there. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, and I still think she's headed there at some point.
Yeah, she had zero presence at whatchamajibit. Like she had zero presence at a Revolution.
Yeah.
They for something that they push constantly so hard, they have no idea what to do with that.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame. Let's get the belt on Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure, and had so much fun at Forbidden Door weekend last year. But yeah, gonna be some intrigue going forward here. And coming up next, Texas Death. Hangman becomes the moniker here and defeats Jon Moxley via hanging in 26 minutes, 4 seconds. And I think this one was even more brutal and violent than we expected.
Oh yeah, no, I think people got busted open really quick. I did get the prop sheet right that Moxley was going to get busted open.
I said Hangman just kind of thinking, maybe it'll be an upset. But yeah, it was like 3 minutes into the match.
Yeah, no, it was like really quick and just really, and then I guess Moxley. I mean, well, I think didn't Excalibur say a slight breeze will cause him to bleed? Like his white blood cell count must just be like just in the gutter, at this
He
point.
did say that. That was very good. And then, yeah, probably 3 minutes after that, Moxley gets the fork out.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that looked as real gets. Like he was sliding it up and down, jamming it in. And like, I feel like I remember, I haven't rewatched the match, but I feel like Hangman was like splattering on it.
Like Evil Uno style.
It was heinous.
Yeah. It was heinous. It was, but I mean, they both, and I mean, there was like a certain point too where I think Hangman was just like so cashed. Like I forget what.
Can you blame him?
Yeah. Sort of what point it was, but he kind of like at the 2/3 away was just constantly on the defensive and constantly having to make like the big comeback and stuff. But I mean, this feud has gone on for a really long time. I mean, since we last, saw AEW in Cincinnati,
which was September of last year. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like this, like, while this could be like a big endpoint to it, I mean, still just has a lot of mileage. And like, that's just proven by how long it's gone on and how satisfying, this was. I mean, this is definitely an exclamation point. This is definitely a pinnacle for it. But I mean, I could see this, continuing to have legs. Surely I think, these guys, could go on to bigger and better things, but I think it's, for right now, a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, I would think this puts an end to it for now. I mean, that was pretty definitive. And I mean, yeah, you could say they're 2-2 now, but I think that's it. How do you come back and do that again after, this whole feud has been Hangman got knocked out, Moxley got knocked out. They beat the shit out of each other again. It's a roll up, and it's like, okay, now let's just murder each other here. So, yeah, I'm obviously very satisfied with it. And I got the Hangman and New shirt on. So,
with his new theme song that
it's growing on me. Definitely after the match I liked it more, like in that triumphant, because it's definitely got like a hard
it's got the band that gallop,
yeah, great gallop, Michael Gallop even. But yeah, this was pretty sick, literally and figuratively. And the thing on the prop sheet was over under. It was either 5.5 or 6.5 weapons. And we had the brick, we had the chain, we had the barbed wire chair, we had the barbed wire board. But what didn't hit it was just a regular old chair. Because we were monitoring.
Oh yeah, we were waiting forever, and that was still technically counted.
Oh yeah, straight barbed wire was one that we counted, because like that's different than the barbed wire chair, barbed wire board. But yeah, there were obviously regular chairs strewn about. But yeah, we were keeping an eye. It's like, nope, still hasn't been used.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moxley took a dead eye onto the chair with barbed wire. Hangman got thrown onto the barbed wire board. I did like, and Mox also, we had the brick, and Mox did the stomp on the brick, which was a nice tribute to old Seth Rollins. And I didn't catch it in the moment, but I guess the fans were chanting his song as they do. But just a great fucking match here. And I liked Moxley was kind of desperate. He hit the low blow. Just couldn't end up getting the job done. I think, didn't he spit? Or no, he flipped Hangman off before the buckshot. Hit the buckshot, and then he hung him up on the chain. But yeah, I mean, a perfect fitting end to this outstanding blood feud. Really loved every second of it, and was blessed that I got to see 2 of the matches live, despite that first one really kind of shaking us up a little bit, because it was the main event of the show. It was a fucking awesome show. And once you see that like stretcher come out, you never know if it's a work or not. And anywho, but good shit. Good shit. And now, so now what happens with both of these guys? I mean,
I really don't know. I mean, like they, kind of move on to something. I don't know what else they like move on to, because like both of these guys are like, top of the card guys,
Yeah.
like,
So
you
I
know,
think
yeah.
maybe not right out of the gate, but Hangman's got to challenge MJF at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
yeah, because that's a pretty classic, like, ready-made heel face matchup
The
for
two
sure.
biggest homegrown stars from day one.
Yeah,
I'm not counting Kenny and the Bucks as homegrown since they
yeah,
made their name elsewhere.
right.
Hangman wasn't anywhere near their level in New Japan, so I still include him.
Uh-huh.
They've only wrestled once, I believe, singles for the first Dynamite Diamond ring. MJF brought that up in the press conference after. I mean, it has to happen at some point during this reign. And why not double or nothing?
Yeah,
Like Hangman coming off the biggest non-title win of his career, no doubt. I mean,
right.
Mox has like 6 losses.
Yeah.
MJF off the biggest win of his career and the best match of his career. I mean, he's been so infrequent to defend the title. I mean, they could hold him, not defend until double or nothing, which is
Yeah.
2.5 months. But I have a feeling he'll get a TV defense
Oh,
before
sure,
that.
they'll have some eliminator tournament or some
Yeah,
sort of
something, some
thing
number
thrown in
one
there.
contender, battle
Yeah,
royal or something. But
right.
who that is, I don't know. He mentioned a bunch of people at the press conference, Kingston being one, although he's going after the ROH title now because they just had their first ROH TV last week. So he challenged Claudio at the end, which will be fucking sick. And
Yeah.
Kingston did quit AEW technically.
Uh-huh.
So I guess he'll kind of be shifted to Ring of Honor for a while now.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, interesting. But we'll get to more MJF later. But yeah, I feel like Hangman's got to be headed to that trajectory sooner than later. Like
Yeah.
maybe he has a minor feud before that, but there's maybe still some business with the Dark Order to tie up. But yeah, I think he's got MJF in the crosshairs, or he should.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think like definitely. Yeah, I think that has got to be ready made for them.
It'll be
Like,
happening in 2023.
oh
If it
yeah,
doesn't, this show might as well not exist.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I think it's just such an easy, natural direction to turn. So might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then tough position to be put in here, but up next we saw Wardlow defeat, unfortunately, the true king of television, and he finally got it in his graphic as well. Well, the true king of television, Samoa Joe, Mimosa Joe,
Yes.
in 10 minutes 42 seconds. I thought this was fine for what in the spot. That's a tough thing to follow there. This feud had kind of been a little cold. Wardlow just came back recently, but
Yeah. It was pretty rushed into
yeah,
into what it is. And like once again, the TNT title is just like this constant like ping ponging thing.
it was only great when Darby had it again.
Well, it was only great in like the Cody Darby
And then
Miro, yeah, like kind of that like
Were
Brody
you thinking
Lee.
of the cult song there?
Yeah. I was like, who's the one that I didn't mention?
What was it? It was Cody, Brody Lee,
Cody, and then Darby. Yeah. That's the song.
Oh, that's funny.
But and after that, it's just been kind of a bit of a shit show. So like, hopefully,
fucking Sammy ruined it.
but hopefully they give Wardlow that. But I personally do not have a lot of confidence that they're gonna like book it right for Wardlow.
Yeah, they didn't the first time.
Yeah, there's just not a lot there. I mean, like Wardlow would have a natural feud with MJF, but I still think that's like far off.
No.
Yeah. So
Wardlow did say that he wants to be defending this belt more because that was the thing. Like he just didn't have. And there was the orange title defense that I think was the first one and the only one that I can even remember. Yeah. So and I said it the last reign. There's so many big guys in this company. Again, where the fuck has Miro been?
Yeah,
Lance Archer just recently came back. Like, let's feed these big guys. Those matches would be great.
Yes, exactly.
Fuck. If we don't get Lance Archer and Wardlow in the next couple months, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Come on.
Me. Yeah. Shucks.
Fuck. Okay. Up next, very fun contest here, which saw the Ass Boys, the Guns, retain their tag team championships over the Acclaimed Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. great fucking warm up for the main event here. We had a lot of laughs during this one, and just this accomplished
Good comedy
exactly.
match. I think
Yeah,
that term was thrown around a lot.
yeah, this
Palate
accomplished, I think,
cleanser.
exactly what it needed to for the spot. The popcorn spot, if you will.
Right.
But yeah, this was fucking great. It's not a 5-star match by any means, but this was high entertainment, high fun, high comedy. Yeah, really enjoyed watching this.
Well, I did too. I mean, definitely just kind of like so many different angles going there because you have the Guns versus the Acclaim, that's sort of going on. Then you have like Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, where like so many people did the goofy chicken strut that he
Yeah, the
does.
strut we were
The
getting a
strut.
geek out
Yeah,
of.
so like there was that, and then Orange and Danhausen, and everybody loved Danhausen. I remember we were playing Catan, and Dylan's like looking at the prop sheet. He's like, "What does it mean that someone gets cursed?"
Yeah.
Cursed.
Yeah, the question was who would get cursed, which I don't think anyone did. Or did someone?
It was
There were a couple attempts. Yeah, I feel like someone did.
No, it wasn't Sanjay Dutt or Satnam Singh. It wasn't either of
Because
them.
I put Dutt.
Yeah, because it was really close, but it wasn't the Guns. It wasn't one of the Acclaimed. I think was it Jeff Jarrett or was it
Maybe.
Lethal or
If anyone out
somebody.
there knows who Danhausen cursed during this match, please let us know.
Who was it?
But yeah, remember Jarrett also got in a shoving match with Aubrey Edwards.
Oh yeah, which is funky.
Lethal hit Caster with the Golden Globe.
Yeah.
But yeah, down the stretch, Danhausen had a roll up. He hit a German suplex on one of the Guns, but then they hit him with they called the 310 to Yuma, which is pretty similar to FTR's move, I think. But
like what, the big rig?
Yeah, but I think it's more of like a flatliner than a knee. But yeah, pretty similar. Like toss him up in the air and the other guy catches him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this checked all the boxes. Lots of scissoring, which Dylan and others we watched with hadn't seen much scissoring, so that was fun. But just again, nothing too much else to say about this, but just credit to all guys for we were kind of skeptical about this match coming in, or at least I was, in terms of really this is who they're running out there. But the Guns are the champs, and I think this was a great defense for them. And again, big story after the match.
FTR comes up. That was another prop thing too. Is FTR going to be mentioned? And not only that, they fucking showed.
Yes, so they are back, and I would be shocked if they did not win those tag titles before Double or Nothing, if not at Double or Nothing at the latest. So,
right.
Because as we talked ad nauseum all of last year, they were the best tag team in the world. They carried 3 different championships, but never the AEW tag team championships, which I think they want the most. And their first run was very short. I think it was like 80-something days.
Yeah, really, man. They could have gone around the world in that time.
So they were the ones that dethroned Hangman and Kenny it was All Out 20. And then remember that following month, your first show, Full Gear, they wrestled the Bucks.
Right.
In that first match that those two had, and the Bucks won it. So yeah, they only had the belts for it may have even been like 60-something days. But yeah. So yeah, they certainly deserve a long run, and I think they're going to get it. And happy for the Guns as transitional champs. And as we've said, I think they deserve it.
There we go. How do you do that? I'll put it on here. This is what you're getting the whole time.
Yeah, gentlemen, how the fuck are you?
How are you, Tom?
Is that Tom in the picture?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think it may be. I think Tom's gonna like our big grid that we put out later. Oh, he's a big fan of the pictures. So
yeah. Shall we roll on to the main event?
Yeah, onward. So I guess before saying this, we kind of realized before this that we knew that another over under was 4 hours and 10 minutes. I believe, and we kind of knew because I put the under too. But yeah, I think like it definitely went under. It was a tighter show.
For sure.
And I definitely
think it was under 4 hours.
Yeah. Still, even with the overtime. Yeah, for sure.
Tom says, nah, this is an old friend of mine, and I don't know how to change picks. I was going to say that didn't look like him, but that would have been tight if it was.
Yeah, if you were a folk musician in between
Good point though.
spoils.
The show, 8 matches compared to like 13 as the last pay-per-views have been. Obviously, it was going to be less with
Yeah, I hope they
hour-long match.
I hope they continue with this model, just because
I
it was
agree.
like, and I
4
mean,
hours. 4 hours is like a perfect time.
yeah, and there always won't be hour-long Iron
No.
Man matches to end it, so you can fit 2 matches in that time with promos and
9-match
and
card.
pageantry.
9-match card. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Triple H has been doing like 5.
Yeah.
5 and 6.
But they have a shit ton of video packaging and all this just stuff.
Well, and then when they did Survivor Series, both the War Games matches were like 40 minutes. So
of course, yeah.
And the Rumble, both the Rumbles are over an hour. So, but I think he did say like he wants to keep the WrestleManias shorter too, which
that's coming up, man. That's going to be
it's less than a month away.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get to it. One of the best AEW matches of all time, in my opinion, was MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman defeating Bryan Danielson 4-3 in overtime, 65 minutes, 15 seconds. Silencing all the fucking doubters out there saying MJF can't wrestle. Man, this was unbelievable. And I was absolutely losing my fucking mind during the end because, like, we all think MJF's going to win, but man, they made me bite multiple times.
They did. Yeah.
One time I can't even explain my reactions, but I remember the one time specifically was in overtime and Danielson was doing the yes chants. I didn't even take note of it, but that's the first time he's actually done it. So in
AEW, wow.
He has actually done it himself. And then he hit that Psycho knee, which he already got a win off of earlier in the match. And man, just incredible. Because I kept saying, like, what's MJF going to do? How's he going to do it? How's he going to do it? And sure enough, he goes outside, seemingly to get some more oxygen, and clocks him with it and gets him to tap out with the arm bar. My God. I remember saying it like 45 minutes in, this did not feel like 45 minutes, which again is such a credit to both guys. I mean, I'll have to look through. I meant to like read the recap to like remember all the shit that happened because like I certainly can't get anything but the finish out of my mind. But man, just amazing stuff. I mean, I went 5 stars on it. Might even be a scale breaker. I'll watch it again at some point. But yeah, we talked last week, I guess it was, about like top 5 AEW matches.
Yeah, and like this is definitely
there, This is in there. I thought this was
so awesome how Danielson's been a part of like a large majority of them.
I mean, hands down, one of the best fucking wrestlers that ever walked the planet, and still today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously the big moment. Well, Danielson got the first fall. That was a question on the sheet. He hit that Psycho knee. Looks like 25 minutes in, first fall.
Yeah.
And then,
see, I thought they would have MJF kind of get down and have him come back.
Yeah,
which I think was wise. That's what I would have done.
And then it was shortly after that, MJF, and this all happened in such rapid
so quick. Well, remember you were.
I was upset.
Because commentary and none of them picked up on that. Oh yeah, like the low blow was going to be counted as a DQ.
Correct.
And also, I don't think Bryce Remsburg.
I don't remember him. Yeah,
he didn't signal it specifically.
It was low blow and then quickly pin.
And he probably should have, in all respect, Bryce. He probably should have like made a moment out of it. But like I guess it all happened so quickly that like maybe he was just kind of going with it in the moment.
It did, yeah. So low blow happened, and then right away inside cradle roll up for 3, and then immediately pinned him again for 3.
Yes.
But yeah, could you remember like briefly they popped up that score is 2-0 and then they took it down, which was actually accurate. But yeah, I think, once that all happened, they put up the 2-2. I think Excalibur explained what happened. And then I was like, okay,
like Valley Sports thing of them to do, that or who else is crappy. Whenever Yuval has to play Western on the road, it's always like Conference USA is always on Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Stadium of them.
Oh man, what was their one? There was some hilarious network that we played Notre Dame on, like Bounce. Do you remember Bounce?
Oh yeah, I remember Bounce.
Like basically Tyler Perry shows all day until you get a random basketball game.
Right.
But yeah, that was obviously a major, major moment. And then MJF got the third fall with that heat seeker DDT, kind of the draping DDT into the ring. 3-2 with 19 minutes left. And then let's see. Sorry, I should have done my homework. Okay.
Fuck
10
homework.
Yeah, fuck it. 10:40 left in the match. Bryan hit another Psycho knee, and then he hit the Regal stretch submission, which was obviously
Michael Adams, big move. Yeah.
a nod to his mentor and the man that MJF screwed. And then, yeah, we have 10 minutes left, and it was just pretty fucking bonkers. And I remember at the end, yeah, Danielson had him in the submission, and it was like, what, over a minute left. And I'm like, this is definitely going to overtime. But the match, it ended, and we didn't know for sure whether it would be considered a draw or if they would do the WrestleMania 12, as I like to call it. And I'm totally fine with that, how it went. Because, like I said, it made those last 5 minutes fucking crazy, and they made me bite. And god damn it, as much as I love MJF, I really did want Danielson to win because
I mean that would have been like
just shocking, and he obviously deserves it. I think it was his 4th or 5th title match, which is crazy. But no, like we said, in the end, and he tapped him out in his own move in the LeBell Lock. I forgot about
he did. Yeah, he did.
Not in the armbar, which he hit him in a lot of the match. But that knee kick out that MJF hit was insane. Yeah, he'd hit the reverse Rana before. I just remember that sequence.
That whole submission just kind of
my brain was outside of my head.
Yeah. It was definitely like played to Danielson's strength, but MJF, whenever he's in submission, like kind of the like his
great,
sort of
great seller too.
Great selling, his like his sort of dramatic chaps in that really shine.
Yeah. Oh, and he got the ring out at the very end, and that's basically what led to this insane.
The oxygen tank and all that.
He ducked. Bryan hit the reverse Rana, and then he started doing the yes chants into the knee, 2 count. Yeah, fucking wild shit.
It was just breathtakingly, exhaustingly wonderful.
Yeah, and like I said, I definitely plan to rewatch this at some point. But yeah, in the moment, so fucking good. Especially, I mean, let's call it the last 20 minutes, really. But the first bit flew fucking by. Like I don't really remember the details at this point, but like it was good work.
But we didn't get our first pin until what, 30 minutes?
Like
I think
25,
25, yeah.
But yeah, the match for an hour match, it never really dragged. I felt like I was really into it the whole time.
Yeah.
Tom said it's not a dumb question. It is usually not set up so there's no break between falls. I always hate. Yes, I agree. So like oftentimes, like these type of matches will have like a rest period, the 30-second rest period or whatever after. So like you wouldn't even be able to do what MJF did and get those back-to-back pins. So I completely agree. I love that he could do that. I just think it makes it more interesting and like you said,
more fluid,
made for great storytelling. So
exactly.
Yeah, I thought this was just so fucking good. And again, like I said, for all those people who said that MJF couldn't wrestle, fuck off.
No, get out of here.
But yeah, so let's talk real quick before we wrap it up. We already kind of talked about Hangman. That's definitely going to happen. You mentioned Kenny, which I think could be very intriguing, but probably later in the year. Like, I just can't imagine they're going to touch that anytime soon. But who else would you like to see? I mean, Ricky had the match with him at the end of last year, but he had said pretty specifically in the press conference that he wants that title. But again, that should be later in the year because he was the first challenger.
Well, I remember when MJF had the big promo about the pillars, like Darby and Jungle Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like him going through the pillars, I think would be
good
and compelling.
He mentioned that he said specifically, he mentioned all 3 of them. He's like, I think it's pretty clear that I'm the only pillar here. So especially, I feel like Darby would be a great next defense before the pay-per-view, because remember,
like good TV defense.
I think it was Full Gear last year that opened the show, and it was fucking great. I remember, I think I went 4.5, 4.75 on that, but I remember loving that match. But yeah, great point about the pillars. Jungle Boy certainly could be another defense. I mean, Sammy would be heel versus heel, but they could still do it. But that's the one that makes the least amount of sense. But yeah, for a Dynamite defense, Jungle Boy, Darby, absolute. I would guess one of those two might be next because Jungle Boy coming off the big win. I mean, Darby's kind of been on the sidelines since dropping the TNT belt, but I mean, you can heat him up real quick. And I mean,
easily.
They've got prior history, so
it'd be fun to see like how Sting responds to like MJF stuff. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Well, and he and Jungle Boy don't really have any history either, so
yeah.
I do think one of those two is probably the next.
And I think especially since Christian just came back, like they got to kind of work him out of that plot line a little bit more than what happened with the burial match. I still think there's some work to do to get him out of that.
Yeah, going to be interesting. But yeah, I would say let's put our money on one of those. I mean, hell, they could do one of those at Double or Nothing, but I just feel like Hangman's, it's got to be sooner than later.
It's too ready-made. It's too like naturally set up.
In my head, I feel like that's going to be Double or Nothing. But I mean, I could see him doing like MJF Jungle Boy's never been in a world title match. I don't think he's never. Obviously,
he has. He was in one with Kenny. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
He had one against Kenny. Yeah.
I forgot. Well, okay, pay-per-view world title match.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So, like he's never like I think he and MJF could main event a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, so, I think they could with the proper build. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. But anywho, shall we shift gears? Obviously, we're I don't need to end right as Dynamite starts by any means. I want to get all this shit in.
It's all good. No, do we want to do an ad, or I guess we can save ads for
yeah, let's save that for the next time.
Yeah, I guess I can just say for those of you watching.
Yeah, I've got shit.
Yeah, we won't read copy, but please use promo code BBB.
The Beard Hedger, brand new product here. Yeah. It's got a nice little wheel, rotating wheel.
And for you guys not as hairy as me, the Plow 2.0, I'm going to use it to shave my 2-day beard off tomorrow because this is all I got. But yeah, like a nice like heat up that water, heat up the metal, a nice warm shave. Like you get that from all this, so like. Yeah.
Skin safe technology.
Yeah, like I'll legitimately vouch for this product and their shampoo and soap
and deodorant.
Yeah. All that stuff is like legitimately really nice.
Remember, someone was smelling our pits at the party at some point. We're like, we both use the same deodorant. It was probably like 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was probably like that. And then we told them we were like, order this shit. It actually is really nice.
Yeah. So there's your little impromptu Manscaped ad. We'll have an official one for next week when we complete part 1 here. But yeah, we wanted to just take a little time to just dive back in time and really kind of go over, just very briefly, scroll through our Spotify list here of all our episodes and just kind of recall some memories here.
And for those,
there have been many.
And for those of you who have just are with us or just joining us, I'm about to post something very special that I worked on.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a grid of our first 99 episode images, also counting our episode 0, so it's 10 by 10. We're going to have a much more engaging tweet tomorrow that's going to go through our various chats. We'll tag the various people in it, your Julia and Eric Lewalds, your Rohit Rajus, your Alex Marveza. We're going to kind of,
Rohit, who just appeared on Ring of Honor as well. He lost to Christopher Daniels, but hey, he's in the family now.
Yeah, and so I'm going to send it out via quote tweet on both of these for anyone to take a look at. But yeah, tomorrow I'm thinking maybe we'll do a nice little tweet at, nice little thing asking people what their favorite things are. But yeah, this is our first 99 logos in high definition. So yeah, take a nice long look at it. It's
you're not able to screen share on here, are you?
I am not, but yeah, here go to our Twitter and take a look at it. Yeah, take a look at it and then zoom in on it. Like all the pictures are high def, so you can see all of our favorite stuff. Like putting it together was just a treat.
Oh wow. Yeah, just on first glance, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty sick, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, like it was mostly, I'll give credit to collage-maker.com who helped made this a possibility. But
man, that episode 2 one.
Yeah. The episode 2 and
really,
then
the first 6 are all just hilarious.
How about that first row? Like Mean Gene's on that. Like
Marvez faded into the background.
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
And then how is there not a way to fucking screen share on StreamYard?
I do not know. I love how the Micah Toxic thing like made its way on there.
Yeah, that's pretty bold.
Yeah. That one made a way on there.
Greg Goldman, of course. NBA Jam, like a real nice centerpiece there.
It is. Yeah, it really sticks out because it's just the white background.
Yeah.
You know? Like good advertisement for his book. You can see the Bengals ones beside that.
And then specifically Devoid, and then good old Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor right there.
Should have photoshopped a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah, and then immediately to the right of that, this Tuesday in Texas.
Oh, wow. T-Toot. Which I don't know if you saw, we were tagged recently. I think it was the Shining Wizard.
I did see that, yeah.
Tweeted, like, what's your favorite title defense? And one of them was The Undertaker beating Hogan at this Tuesday. I think they just said Tuesday in Texas, but yeah, I definitely got a kick out of that.
Yeah, and also
this is fucking beautiful, man.
I'm like putting it together and seeing it. I'm just sort of taken
aback.
It's so,
the high deftness and the brightness of it.
Well, I also love like you can see the Limelight one, right? That blue with like his, and you see the Ethan Page one. I had forgotten about that one. I totally forgotten.
Very upset.
Very upset. Where's he been?
Yeah, on Dark mostly.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
He was the finalist in that tournament to be the number 1 contender when he lost to Ricky Starks. So he at least, got somewhat of, I'm not going to call it a push, but some opportunity.
Right.
God. How about Vince?
Yeah, how about Vince? Well, there's many ones of him.
What is it? The calm before.
Yeah, the calm before.
I think it's 18.
Yeah, 18, something like that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Excuse me.
Yeah, good shit. Well, let's dive in.
We'll use this as our guide, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So episode 1, which was my original Brainbusters logo, our heads photoshopped. So yeah, that's how you were Tully, I was Arn in that picture.
Yeah, and I love how that's like the guide, like the top left, like where it all begins and ends.
The Pilot Menace. I honestly didn't even remember the name until
the Pilot Menace,
which obviously goes back to what we discussed last week with Star Wars Episode 1 and the cans and all that.
Well, and one thing I really remember about it is like the different ways we recorded it, because we did one at Vedder's old place.
Yep.
Maybe in the basement, and then we did stuff like at your at your place whenever we watched the Phantom Menace. Yeah,
and Turner Thanksgiving was recorded in the Corkport, right?
It was, in the Corkport, and then that was one of our first remote shows because I had to come home for Thanksgiving and. We kind of did it pretty quickly because we had done our thing on Sunday, and then we just kind of were like, let's squeeze this in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we used to spend obviously a lot more time editing than we do now. But
yeah.
So yeah, episode 1, we talked about Full Gear. We discussed last week the whole fight and everything. So we don't need to get too into the weeds here because we've got 50 of these. But no, episode 2, Get Equalized. Definitely a big moment for us in editing together here on this.
Oh yeah, it was the moment I think the show really got its identity. I remember we were. I remember I watched that episode of Dynamite in my parents' basement.
Yeah,
and I think I spent the night at their house that night. But yeah, it was just a fun. I don't know. Like I just remember editing that. Like remember that chicken, the rooster, yeah. That the weather alert, like all that.
Oh God, we'll definitely bring that back for next week.
Yeah, the DNA of all that was born. That's when we were watching movies because the Equalizer, obviously, which they're making a third one. Like they need to do a crossover with Denzel Washington and Queen Latifah.
What about Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur coming up next? The Equalizer,
like just before and after.
Yeah, the bookends.
Yeah.
Also, I totally forgot about What Burns My Ass.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord.
I talk about something that's far away from now because like Taz lost that character and now he's just sort of a fairly neutral announcer.
Yeah, more.
You know,
Yeah, I'd say he trends a little more
what
towards the heels, but yeah, he's in no
he
way
does.
not a heel announcer.
Yeah, he
But
likes MJF. Like he
yeah,
always like Tony Schiavone will always be like,
that
"Oh, who's that
prick.
guy?" Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, number 3, we mentioned it, but a Turner Thanksgiving, like you said, we kind of just shoehorned this one in, but had a lot of fun with it, and you got to see the gobbledygooker.
oh yeah. My first exposure to Mean Gene.
What? Yes, that's right. Who
Yes,
certainly became a big part of all of this.
yes,
What is in that egg?
yeah,
And yeah, we compared all the Turner shows to Thanksgiving items, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
yes,
And we previewed what would become Hit Watch.
yes. We did. Yeah, and then Hit watches. The Cinnabon episode there. Take a look at that.
Episode 4, The Battle of the Winter is Coming.
Yes, and so yeah, that was a big thing. And then Ready Player One, which is the one beside that. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the forgotten one out of our first ones.
I think this was the one I maybe got mad at you about editing or something.
Something like that. I forget exactly what
Well,
happened.
because remember, like I would sometimes just give you notes,
Yeah.
and it, like with the timestamps, obviously as you're cutting, it doesn't make sense anymore. So I feel like this was one where we didn't do it together, and there was maybe some frustration. But yeah, I don't really. Let's see. We had
Maybe we didn't get it out until like 10 at night or 11 at night, like some sort of very late,
this was Sting and Ric Flair from the final Nitro. It was our, if you recall.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I love just the description is simple. The Brainbuster boys are here to help you navigate the nuclear fallout after Moxley hit Dan Callis. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Oh shit.
And then
yeah,
Santa Sleigh Symphony, which was, like a big triumph, I feel like. And like that actually was like a longer recording process because we watched the actual movie Santa Sleigh,
which was Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we took a break for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then came back with the Book of Turner arc.
Well, let's mention as we were both. I would say this is collectively the drunkest we've been.
Oh yeah,
Episode 6. And I went on a tirade against Britt Baker being from Pitt.
Fuck
her.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least for me, especially, this was the drunkest I was until, what was it, 98? The Switch 2?
Yeah. Oh,
yes, we took a break and then everything changed.
And then we took a break from drinking, for a little bit
right.
there.
Yeah. I went like 58 days. And I think you were like a month or something or close
something
to
of the
it.
like. Yeah, close to it. I think I went from New Year's until the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ted said, "They who slander the Go Big Show are they who will endure my wrath."
Yeah. And that was our first episode with VGM. Our burgeoning relationship with Chad and Diesel, as referenced in the photo.
NBA on TNT. Whenever we would do those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We done the recaps of that.
So good.
Oh man. Oh Lord.
Yeah, but this is what really kicked the show into next gear with the storytelling. And
yes,
remember how we scared Lee down in our basement, the dungeon.
What are you guys doing?
I'm just screaming, "The Book of Turner!" Wait, that wasn't me. That was the Grand High Exec. Gregory. He kind of talks like this.
Gregory Horatio Eisenhower, man.
That's right.
GHE.
So then, and then number 8, Dear Brainbuster Boys, with the excellent picture of Marvez.
Yeah, because remember, it was like some sort of Dark Order thing, that he was just sort of
literally just like faded to the background.
Receded,
yes, receding Marvez.
Receding Marvez, that was the thing.
And I believe, was this also the one where we had, was it Top Rope Squishy asking if we should call the police?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, where she was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Because we had like claimed that someone broke into our studio. Or
yeah.
Like, this is when the storyline, like when we realized, like, okay, like people are buying into this shit.
Yeah, people believe it. Yeah.
I remember, like, I said, like, should we like message her and say everything? And you're like, no, fuck it. So let's just let it ride.
Yeah, let's let her think that. Let her concern.
So yeah, like the whole gimmick was that somehow this letter had gotten in here, and I guess maybe we had played it that someone snuck in, but Yeah, some really weird stuff happening while recording this episode. That and the noble title of Old Turner Boy is on the line or something. Man, you know who's not Old Turner Boy? As much as I love him, Wardlow.
No, he's not.
He's just not Old Turner Boy for me.
We need a real Old Turner Boy. That's like a beauty pageant.
Darby is the ultimate Old Turner Boy.
Oh, he's the only one.
Yeah,
the only one.
OTB.
And then next.
Oh my god!
I love how that belongs in the top row. But like it's part of the DNA of the show so much. Like it occupies a good spot too. Like
especially the first 50, no doubt.
Yeah. But like for that to be like I know Snowpiercer came after that, but this also deserves to be like in the corner. Like it deserves to be what's like holding up this whole thing.
Yeah. Put that cigarette out.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah, and you get just Heenan's grinning face over there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which this is the first out of I guess 2 times this shows up here because he's on episode 50, obviously.
And we learn at some point in our journey who he was telling to put that cigarette out after.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was mystical.
But yeah, and then also the plot. I mean, it's called the plot show, so that kind of plot matches and the lot. Oh yeah, obviously this was just the first time you'd seen Rumble '92. Oh well, how about this? What a nice thing. We love you too, as much as I do. I can't speak for Bell.
No, I do.
For those listening, our good friend. Well, kinda, sometimes. Micah Pellegrini. Hey, fellas, congrats on 100. You guys are the best, and in all sincerity, I love you guys so much and hope we can catch a show together in person.
I love you too, Mike. I love everything but your politics. No, I'm just kidding.
And your drinking habit.
But no, thank you. Like this has been one of the cooler relationships that I have maybe the coolest relationship that I've cultivated over this period. So
and we did have a blast catching a show in person last year. Impact Sacrifice.
Yeah, great stuff. Maybe one of our future pictures where he comes on will just be that black and white photo of Dr. McCoy.
Yeah, Micah's in a couple of these. He's in, I guess, 2 of them, right? The toxic one. Oh no! Oh yeah, the toxic one. That was the guest co-host.
Yeah. The guest co-host, and the one immediately to the right of NBA Jam, which has insane placement on here, just right in the middle.
So yeah, Micah, a big part of this was the first, and I guess only, right to this point, person who has co-hosted other than you.
Yes.
So
you'll
always have that feather in your cap. And deservedly
That's
so.
when I was in Mississippi, too.
Yeah, that's where we had a ball.
Yeah, and if you're just joining in, go to our Twitter and follow along. I think, anyone will have a really good time looking at these pictures with us in this grid. It's high definition. It's really
absolutely good. Bo did a killer job making it, and we get the number 10 back on track. Can the BBBs get the train back on the tracks? Snowpiercer Season 2 and a pretty great episode of Dynamite this week may or may not have helped.
Well, I remember we recorded this one not in person because of a COVID scare. I think, I think that's what happened. I did
not remember that.
And I recorded some from my bedroom at my parents' house, and also I stayed late at work at the office.
Who had the scare? Was it me or you?
It was you, I think, because I think Vetter had been around someone.
Okay. Well, and then I had a couple through Lee, when he had been exposed to someone, blah, blah, blah. But, man, what a weird time.
Yeah.
But the best part about this was watching Snowpiercer.
And it was actually good.
It was, yeah.
It was actually pretty good. And I mean, it's Turner's last series, and apparently they didn't cancel it that I read because they put so much money into it.
Yeah.
They have Sean Bean, Jennifer Connelly. They have what's his name, Daveed Diggs from Hamilton.
Yep.
Like such a big cast and such a high production value. They were like, well, we can't, just burn this money to the ground.
Well, so it was Season 2, Episode 1, and obviously we'd seen and heard all the commercials because we were employed by Turner.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went into it assuming that we were going to hate it and rip on it, and then that we would figure out how to navigate that because we'd already gotten disciplined for, I guess we didn't specifically say, ripping on the Go Big show.
Yeah, we did. And we also get disciplined in the next episode. which is worth.
But we went into
keeping.
Snowpiercer thinking it was gonna suck, and it was good. And then it was like last year, early. I remember it was like January, February. Fucking blew through the first 2 seasons, and it was awesome. Like I really enjoyed it.
Isn't Chris Thomas a big fan? Didn't you say he's a big fan?
I know he watched season 1.
Yeah. See, and apparently the movie, which is Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite, it's got like Chris Evans in it.
I watched it. It's good for sure. I think I like the show better just because there's more like depth and layers to it. But yeah, the movie's very strong.
Which the journey of it's interesting because it's a French graphic novel that was turned into a South Korean movie that was turned into a Turner show.
Yeah.
Like the journey of that like IP is insane.
Anything on a train, I'm always on board for.
Choo choo.
Excuse me. I came back from the cough button there on the end, but yeah. So that we get disciplined. Our first live stream, right?
Yep, our first live stream with the Meg, which went swimmingly until YouTube got pissed at me.
Yeah, so we'd had I guess it was after Dynamite, we just kept the stream going, and the Meg was on, and obviously that sound was playing in the background, and YouTube popped us and took it down, so we just decided to use it to our benefit. And
and then made it coming out of the shark's mouth, which was great. Which was so
the Meg was definitely a classic in that era that was on often. Oh wow, this was also the one. Kenta Marufuji. Wow.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
I've been trying to get JCB to watch that, but it wasn't on YouTube anymore. It's probably on Daily Motion, but I didn't look. But yeah, that match is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole section here for just the Grand High Exec. I guess that was just him disciplining us, huh?
I think so, or just a big appearance on his part.
I like this is a good description as well. The BBBs navigate copyright issues, basic cable dogma, greasy, sinister ministers, and forbidden doors as they try to figure out what the fuck is going on with their show.
Oh yeah, that might be all-timer great description.
Sinister Jim Mitchell here. I guess this was like first discussion of Forbidden Door, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Well, with Kenta showing up on AEW, which he did.
That's right. Yeah. Good call. Yes. Excellent. All right. Number 12.
Let my podcast go.
Let my podcast go.
No.
It was
it was the plagues. It was the plagues.
Oh no, who's that X-Men character again down there?
Well, the Magneto, and that's the Sentinels. That's a Ghost All Elite. Yeah. Just remember but
yeah.
Well, my favorite, because like when we did the plagues, we were like, okay, like what silly things could come up. Remember the banjo?
Oh my god!
The banjos.
Was this the one? The next one was where we were running through the snow, right? Or was it this one?
This one was when we were running through the snow because we flee the studio and we had a car wreck at the end.
Yeah, well, okay, yes. Then we did Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, G121 Night 1 from the car, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And then we literally there was
little snow on the ground too.
I was gonna say,
I ran with
a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the sound effects. We were literally sitting in my car in the cold recording this, if you recall. And then what we like saw a car, like someone was following us, or what happened there?
Yeah, something. Well, yeah, they followed us, and then we got in a car wreck, and then had this like weird little cut thing with us running, and then we ended the show under an overpass.
Yeah,
like like
so. Wow. Yeah, things are getting real intense here. And then how does the next one start?
Well, we did it. We did it remotely. And I remember I was at Boyasco's, and we said that we had to do it remotely just because of all the Turner stuff. And then we decided to finally get together.
Yeah.
Because you got the email from Turner. Like I forget exactly what the email was for.
Yeah. It's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
And then we end up meeting in the woods.
Yes. Which was Cody Dart, but like one of our first big immersive scenes that has come to
TNT, TBS, CNN, True TV.
Yes.
Shaq, Ernie,
Cody, all that.
Kenny, Charles.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then And then we have the free agency, which is
still one of my favorites.
Yeah, probably like if I had to cement any of our episodes, like that one, like probably like without all it doesn't have tons of bells and whistles. It's just a lot of recordings.
It's a work of fucking art.
Yeah, I would like to revisit that, or maybe do a free agency too at some point. Because
Yeah.
like kind of going back into that versus like scene creation and the sound effects, versus like I would like to do something like that.
Well, and this is where we met Tom. Who just left to record some ROH Revelry, where he played Ring of Honor executive Joe Koff.
Yes,
who got his own episode later that we'll get to. But
yep, we'll get to that one for sure.
We had Staves as Rocky Romero. Who was I, Mr. Cardigan? I guess Billy Corgan. Hey, Billy Corgan here. Billy Sanford Corgan. Is Matt Jones.
Yeah, the Ohio Valley Conference.
Called Ohio Valley Wrestling the Ohio Valley Conference, which is fucking great.
Ohio Valley Conference.
Obviously, Diesel and Chad, both playing their parts as Triple H and Vince McMahon, who certainly became quite a large piece moving forward after this. But yeah, I mean, remember, I had the tire blowout on the interstate. Like, that was real.
That was in there. Yeah.
We watched it we get Lanny in the episode. What's up, pimps?
Some pimps. I mean, that Zoom was
Did you record it?
Yeah, that Zoom was sitting on the hood of my car, and it just sort of got that parking lot perfectly.
Dun, 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 dun,
the entertainer.
That was Jade's first match, right?
It was, yeah. Yep. Remember, we were like, "Who is this chick?" Because she came out and like punched Cody in the face or something like that.
Yeah, Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill, who are you?
We also had Revolution on this one, 2021. Exploding barbed wire death match, and then we accepted Vince's offer.
Remember, it was 2 hours into the show that we had our theme come in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like the exhausting nature of that, I think is such a part of the DNA of that. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then we have this.
Yep, episode 0, which I guess we got to talk. Which my meltdown was after this, right? This was basically, we recorded this as like a test run, just to see how it would go.
Yeah,
that would be an interesting one to go back and listen to again.
I mean, if Vetter has it on some ancient archaic computer.
No, I mean just this episode.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever listened to it. I think we just kind of threw it up there.
I think I did at least some of it, but yeah, that would be an interesting listen.
Yeah.
And then, yes, the first of the WWE arc, If You Total Recall.
Yes.
Vince. And slogging through those 3-hour Raws.
Oh,
and
God.
The first couple, we'd have Zoom up. And yeah, I think the next week is really when it took a turn. Like, we were like, fuck this fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and then but that's when we discovered rodeo, which somehow injected a life of its own into it. So we had that.
Raw is rodeo. So yeah, then basically WWE just became a euphemism for shitty country music, essentially.
Yep. And then the real story kicked in with Bruce-mania, in these next few. Like
another classic, which Justin fucking killed it as Bruce.
Yeah.
The Star Trek 5 of podcasts.
The Star Trek 5 of podcasts. The Star Trek 5 of podcasts.
And this started with us eating Dixie chili with Vince and Bruce.
Playing Swan in the car. Can you identify the Bruces in the picture? We have Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
Bruce Willis, Bruce Wayne, Bruce Arians,
Robert the Bruce,
and Robert the Bruce. Yeah.
But yeah, this was obviously a huge episode. 2 nights of NXT, 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Those 2 nights of NXT were great.
Yeah, and we did Bishop Show drunk the first night live.
Destroyed.
And then we went to school for WrestleMania. Yeah, that was definitely a fun one. Yeah. 2 hours 19 minutes.
And then the calm before, I think, was sort of a middle chapter.
Kind of like a filler, like a filler episode almost.
Because we knew we were going to do the switch, and I think we were like, well, we can't just jump to the switch. We need Vince to tell us to do the switch.
57 minutes, definitely one of the shorter ones. Yeah, the boys find themselves in a precarious position as a conference call with Vince looms. So we did Giant Gonzalez versus The Undertaker. Talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
pig slop.
Terrible shit. Was that the Coliseum?
Yes, yeah.
Was it the
Yeah.
Coliseum? Yeah.
And then 19, the Switch won now. So classic.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Kushida and his family.
Yeah.
That's still
Very
that
upset.
segment
Very
where
upset.
we reviewed NXT, and remember it just got faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
Like we
No, that.
sped up our voices. Like that whole segment is still one of my favorites because you were hosting.
Yeah.
Just it was so, and just like congratulations to Kushida and his
When
family.
it just starts to get really snappy and stuff. Yeah.
And
It's
then we
really
do like
great.
the Super Mario, like speed
Yeah.
it up. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we also reviewed Uncensored 99 Hollywood Hogan versus Ric Flair First Blood cage match,
Oh, we
which you were
did.
at.
Yes, I was.
Speaking of which, I've been meaning to say this and haven't. I want to, like, since we've only kind of really little dipped our toes into WCW, we should review all. There's only like 6 of them, but all 6 uncensored from like 95 to 2000.
Are they all bad?
Yes. There's a lot of comedy in all of them. And like 97, 99, I don't think I've even seen. So there's or 99, I've seen that. 97, I don't think I've seen. So
Did they do it in the ASCII logo era?
In 2000 was the last one. Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
And then another clear favorite here. This might be the tops. I don't know. There's a lot. There's probably like a top 5 for sure, but this would definitely be one of them. The Road wraps up pretty much every storyline we had of the first 20.
Yeah, it had a tall task, but it did it. It had a binaural mix, which if you listen to it in headphones, you can hear on both sides. A fun thing about that logo is that literally is the Let It Be logo that I put pictures on. So I like literally down like that image. Like if you were to strip away all that somehow, like it would say "Let It Be" by the Beatles. Yeah,
love it. Yep, Vince ran us off the road in the Raw production truck.
Yep.
Smack Boyle,
yes.
Ghost of Dusty, Roy Rogers, Rome, Georgia. And then obviously your showdown with Vince, popping him in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
My showdown with GHE and Ted Turner, who was nothing but a kind man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing but, very Wizard of Oz like, peek behind the curtain.
But yeah, just incredible stuff there.
And then Lee made it in this next one. Like there he is. and like I thought holy shit was
holy
later.
Shit.
But holy shit's pretty early shit.
Yeah. Look at Lee. So red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking great.
Yeah.
So yeah, our return to AEW.
Normalcy. Yeah.
I guess we promoted the Marvez interview here.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good stuff. So
hot bugs there.
Bugs.
You mentioned hot bugs at the party.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I thought this was the Lynch one, but it wasn't. It preceded the Lynch one, so that's what made sense. Yeah. Our air was out. It was hot as shit, and the cicadas were here. So we recorded with the windows open, and it kind of had a nice, kind of served as a little nice backing track, if you will. It did,
yeah. And then we have Lynch.
Well, hold on. This ended with a call from Greg Goldman.
And it also, I believe, Go, Go, Go was invented on this one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Well, so I guess we forgot to mention, we first ran into Greg Goldman at the end of the road, right?
Yeah.
On my porch.
It was the post-credits scene.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So Greg Goldman, based on a real human being. Our character's way tighter, but yeah. So that he becomes more and more involved here. But yeah, first we got David Lynch, which really kind of serves as a prequel for, I can't remember what number episodes they are, but did we call it the origin?
It is the origin, yeah, and that was it's in the 70s, I believe. Yeah. It's 2 rows from the bottom.
Yeah.
And then we have our interviews with Marvez and
oh yeah, those were back to back. Yeah.
Hell
yeah.
And I remember like that Lynch episode, the Marvez one, and this one were all done in like a 10-day span.
Yeah. That was probably our most prolific time period.
Yeah, because I remember we interviewed Marvez while I was at work at insurance. Like I remember going in the back, like it was like at 2 p.m. or something weird like that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And then, yeah, the very upset toxic event.
Yeah.
Greg Goldman makes his debut as the
Yep.
BBBs hope to avoid any upsettedness or toxicity.
Yeah, we didn't,
And
as Greg
this was the Kenny Jungle Boy match, actually.
Oh, was it now?
How
That's
about
exciting.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, the Greg Goldman report to end it.
What an
Boy,
exclamation point.
he slogged through those first few.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he was bad at it.
27 garbage compacta blackout, and I love the picture of Malachi here. Yeah, this was episode 27. It took till episode 100 for him to do something meaningful.
I know, insane. Yeah, but this was his
July
debut, right?
July 11th, 2021.
What a
Yep.
crazy picture of him too, with the
I know.
contrast. Yeah, like you should pay us for that fucking picture of him. Like, I bet he would love the shit out of that picture.
It is sick.
We have Be the Water, Not the Rock.
Oh, another classic here.
Yeah.
Dr. Shelby.
Dr. Shelby.
Vince meets Greg, which certainly comes into play later on.
Yeah, well, like one of our more natural character trajectories that I loved.
Dr. Shelby. Did I play Dr. Shelby?
You did. You
Okay.
did. You were Dr. Shelby.
Fucking funny. Oh, yeah, this must have been when Paul Orndorff died, too, because WrestleMania 1 main event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we watched that. Oh,
Yeah.
my Lord. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, 29. It's a Leewald world.
Yeah, and funny thing with that was the weekend of my sister's wedding, or right before that.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so like that was going on then whenever they came on the show.
Definite favorite for you here.
Oh yeah, no, big one. I mean, like, man, still can't believe that happened. But
yeah, fucking sick.
And then Tom.
Oh, podcast of honor, baby.
That shit. This is one of our busiest logos. Look at that VGF logo we use.
It looks like Jamaican.
It does. Yeah, yeah. It's just like that, and then the background of the ROH is just like.
And then Joe Koff just geeking.
Yeah. Like that is our like most barfy logo.
It's hilarious.
And then
the guest co-host.
Oh, I remember making this logo. Like I was on vacation and I downloaded this app on my phone. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this logo, and yeah, I got that VGM as the O. Yeah. No, it's a great one.
Oh shit!
And like that picture of him too, with like the hand over his face.
Yeah, which you took at like 2 a.m. It was after maybe Double or Nothing 21. Yeah, we had him on a Zoom, and yeah, I believe we were watching like Kensuke Sasaki versus Kenta Kobashi. Remember, there was like 4 minutes straight of chops. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. Oh, chop suey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do. I remember the night vividly.
Is it Crisis of Confidence here?
Yeah, with the Jimmy Carter.
Greg Goldman makes his big return.
Yeah, after that. And then we have a Consultation Money Punk when CM Punk first comes on. That's me next to Jerry Lawler's whatchamajivit, his ATM.
And Fox Monroe's debut here.
Oh yeah, it was that, wasn't it? Oh my Lord.
Yeah, CM Punk's debut when it was fucking awesome, and he had to go and ruin it all.
Before being a ding dong.
Yep. 34 Milwaukee. Obviously, fucking just the trip alone. I mean, not necessarily the episode. Didn't we lose? The Zoom stopped recording on our way up. Remember?
It did. Yeah. We ran out of memory.
Yeah, but yeah, this was fun because we had the hungover. I had just puked recording where we watched the Shingo Ospreay match.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
Obviously the indie show that we went was classic. I think didn't we have stuff from the car where we were doing like the rhyming game or something?
Yeah, that's a really fun one to listen to. That's a very abnormal one. Yeah, from the rhyming game. Yeah.
And yeah, we just separated all by days. So yeah, that was a fun one. And then I guess next was All Out.
Yep.
All out of excuses.
Yep. By Lee's Pool again, which did we set that up? Because the Double or Nothing one was right by Lee's Pool.
I think we kind of like he was probably getting ready to take it down because that September 7th kind of like signifies the end of summer.
Yeah, and I'm glad we did a bookend of his pool.
It says Greg gets a visitor. Who would that be?
Fox Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. And then I love this next picture.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah. Like the orange and that and stuff from the scarf. Yeah. Unbelievable.
We rolled like 10 deep to that Dynamite. And it was so tight, I remember. Like so narrow, but great times.
Yep, the Fifth Third Center.
Yep. And then here it is.
The Greg Goldman Hour. Unbelievable.
Yeah, nothing really else to say. Who was the first Cornette first interview? Fuck
Cornette.
you, Goldman.
You, Goldman. That logo we had ready forever. Like, this is the one logo. Like, I'm glad this thing wasn't blurry.
Oh, and remember, he came at us after this one.
Oh, he did, yeah.
After all that time of referencing him and everything, he never said a word. But once we posted this picture,
the take it off,
take it down. And then I think he might have like threatened us in some way.
Yeah, in a vague way. But like what was he really gonna do?
And I remember we had a pretty serious like it's like really because remember I was like somewhat hesitant about like using his real name and picture at first, and you didn't take much convincing, but I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's ride with it.
Yeah,
and then well, then it was we just took down the tweet. Obviously, we didn't take this off of our episode.
But this is the only one that we used this picture.
Yeah.
With the clock over the girl's face, too. Like, the clock just plunges around.
I would still, goal for this show would still be to get the real human being on.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Who knows where he's even at right now, what burner account he's on at this point.
Which I haven't checked his account in a while.
I haven't. If anyone has, Micah maybe has, but
yeah,
what an enigma.
Yes.
And then the man with the Goldman gun, fucking Arn Anderson, the star of the show.
With the star of the show with his gun.
This picture's fucking tight.
Yeah, it is just it almost looks like it's engraved into metal.
Oh, dear. This was Greg Goldman Hour interview with Micah Pellegrini.
Oh, was that? Oh my God.
Episode 39, the Philly Flush. This was definitely a fun one. Fuck Philly.
Fuck Philly. And that was with Mario.
Yes. Yeah, they got into it.
With Hangman winning the chip as he stands over the city.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess that was Hangman's comeback after he was out for a little while.
Ages, yeah.
And then number 40, the Miami Row Heat.
Yep.
Love this picture too.
Yeah, no, I love that too. Like that's I remember he liked that a lot too. Like he really fits in with the background there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, he was awesome, man. Like what a good dude. He said he'd come back, so maybe we'll have to get him back.
So let's get him back. Is he signed with anybody right now?
Well, he's in he was on that first Ring of Honor show, so I mean that's just starting, so we'll see. But I mean, I'm sure he's been doing a lot of indie stuff too, but
right.
And then 41, Halloween's Havoc.
With the John Carpenter pumpkin, yeah.
Greg Goldman Hour interview with Lee Plummer from the Leadonism Horror Podcast.
And the Leadonism Network has tons of stuff.
The Leadonism Network has picked up steam this past weekend. That's for sure.
Oh, it did. It was in full gear.
As Lee said, he would rather be waterboarded for 6 hours than I can't even watch Louisville play or something.
Yeah, waterboarded.
He might be able to hear me right now.
That's so sick.
Yeah, that was definitely a very fun one. Lee being my roommate / our landlord, as we called him, but he's obviously heard a lot of this just from being downstairs, and it was cool to have him part of it officially as well. Stay Goldman, Hoagie Boy. So yes. Part 1 of, I guess, what we would call our season 2 finale, maybe.
Yeah, it is. And a couple of things about that picture. Number 1, Griff sent that.
That's right. He sent that real picture from because what was Del Mar in the episode? I can't even remember.
No, Fox Monroe referenced something about Del Mar at some point, like in LA. But I always think this looks like a Band of Horses album cover. You know,
with Hangman and Matt Jackson just
up there. Yeah. When Hangman was wearing the Stay Puft, it's close to Halloween. Yeah, close to Halloween.
But yeah, this was obviously, I mean, the next one is where it really gets nuts, but this one definitely a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Greg Goldman interviewing Vince on the show, and then we have like a confrontation with him, right?
Yeah,
like during the show.
Yeah, and he berated us. Got the better of us.
He smoked us. Yeah,
at that point, he did.
He was way above us at that point.
Yes.
Um,
and then Stay Goldman Hoagie Boy is our next one.
No, Nothing Goldman Stay.
Nothing Goldman Stay, my bad. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get those two confused a lot.
And yeah, no track list here. This was our first episode that was like kind of straight story, even though like we were in it, but like there was no like dedicated wrestling talk. Because the one before, remember, we had like the cab ride or whatever.
Yeah.
We
Where we
talked
about
Dynamite for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one just plain and simple. The Brainbuster boys team up with Hoagie to take down Fox Monroe. Greg faces a big decision at the Oakland Wrestling Podcast Awards, which was so much fun to put together.
Yeah.
And I loved kind of running with my whole scene of looking for the cocaine and who all, we had Graham, we had Tom as Joe Koff, we had I know it was Ryan from Front Face Lock who eventually pointed me in the direction of the Repo Man.
Yeah, the Repo, my pleasure.
And just so much hijinks with this Hoagie and Fox Monroe.
Yeah.
Cornette up there as well. Wasn't he like hosting it or something?
He was. He was.
Fuck you, Goldman.
Fuck you, Goldman.
And Greg's speech at the end, of course, a fucking classic. And then we all had Kumbaya at the end.
We did, very much so.
And then the first anniversary, which happened to coincide with the conclusion of Hit Watch.
Yeah, if you scroll all the way up, like I wish it were on the same. It's very close to being on the same column as Hit Watch.
Yeah,
you know, like one over. But yeah, there it is.
Yep. And I cried that night when Hangman won.
Yeah.
45. We'll definitely do this one again. Good for you, Hellmouth.
And also, Micah also made that. Do you see the little toxic t-shirt?
And Sanford's in there. Chris. Yeah.
All of them.
But yeah, this was the Bushwhackers, Earthquake, Max Fried down there in the corner.
Roy Gentry.
But yeah, this was obviously a ton of fun. Very interesting one to edit, as we pretty much just like let the mics roll for hours while we were just hanging out.
And it was wild.
Shane unfortunately had to leave early, but I'm sure we'll be mixing it up with those guys again now that I'll be moving down there.
For sure.
46, Jingle Bells Bonanza. Probably our longest episode, right? 2 hours. It says 2 hours, 60 minutes, but 3 hours.
A 3 hour episode. Yeah, it was just a big celebration interview. You can see everybody on the
we
on the balls there.
Just a lot of different people.
And also Micah, the toxic photo, also made that one.
Yeah, he's on there a lot.
Back-to-back episodes.
And then, okay, this one's close. 2 hours, 51 minutes. This was me and Azar. Favorite matches of 2021. Just marquee bullshit here. We had a lot of fun with it. 48, the Hang Manscaped page triumph.
Yeah, the first one with Manscaped.
Yes, and this was not the hour long, but this was when he defeated Danielson after that. This picture's classic. The flying razor.
And then the two like products that are on his face.
Classic. 49. Oh, this is a favorite of mine. Maestro McMahon's Finest Symphony, where we invited Chad as Vince McMahon to review the entirety of Survivor Series 98 with us, which is a very Vince McMahon centric show.
Yeah.
And this was just a ton of fun. And this is when the Bengals stuff started. Their beloved Bengals snapped their 31-year playoff drought with a 26-19 win over the Raiders.
That kicked it off. Yeah. Yep. Wild.
Yep.
And then this was recorded the day before the Titans, the day before we got COVID.
Yep.
Fun note to end on, episode 50.
Yep. 30 years of Put That Cigarette Out. So as we referenced on number 9, that's when this all started. And it just so happened that the anniversary of Royal Rumble 92 coincided, or the 30th anniversary coincided with our 50th episode. And we started watching this Tuesday in Texas that weekend at your place, I remember.
Yeah, which like that took a little bit to get to. You know?
For sure. But hell yeah, man! It's been
literally the Bengals NBA Jam. Micah and Derek and Trevor Kelsey got in the way of that.
For real. It did take a long time to get there. Yeah,
it did, almost an entire row.
Shit. Well, hell yeah, man. It's been a hell of a ride. This has been a fucking blast.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be down there and we can physically be together again and figure out how we're going to record in person and do a whole bunch of fucking hijinks, go to OVW shows and whatever else. But yeah, I'm going to go watch Dynamite and then I'm meeting Justin for a beer later, which will be the last time I probably go out up here while I live here. So,
oh, damn, man. Well,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll see you this weekend. And yeah, next week we'll be having part 2, still episode 100. We're gonna have a slew of guests on there. Don't know who yet, and we're gonna revisit episodes 51 to 99, probably Tuesday night. But we'll let you know.
Good deal.
Until then.
Thanks
for everything, all the support.
Yes, you know? Yeah. It's been inspiring and scintillating and wonderful.
Yes, for real though. It's been a hell of a ride and we will revisit more coming next week. But thank you all so much. You can find us at Brainbuster Boys, Twitter, Instagram, Brainbuster Boys on YouTube. Thank you again to Nick from the Universal Wrestling Podcast for this wonderful template here of our names. Now I'm doing the Bushwhacker thing. Dun, 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 dun. Paul White.
Yep.